I'm so sorry, but we have to speak about Drunk Elephant again because they have been on a downward spiral for a while now. As you know, they got caught up in the whole Sephora Kids drama, got way too excited about the fact that they are popular with tweens and much younger, and basically just forgot that their older customers actually existed. And they've been paying the price for that ever since the trends moved on and kids stopped caring about Drunk Elephant. And it's kind of all their fault, to be honest with you. But don't worry, because I know you're worried. They have a comeback plan, and they've just announced the start of a new era for themselves. Like, who cares if anyone's actually interested in this new era from a brand that's been surrounded by controversy for most of its existence? They've announced it, so that's that. Who's excited? Show hands, everyone. So today I want to talk about this, in my opinion, pretty pathetic and boring attempt at a rebrand. What's really motivating this change of direction, and whether or not I think that they really do have a chance of making a comeback in today's skincare world, which has changed drastically from just last year alone. As I say every time I talk about Drunk Elephant, I've talked about the Sephora Kids drama to death, and so has so many other people. But if you are new here, I don't want to go into too much detail about it. You can watch all the videos I've done about here, and here. I'll just give a very quick recap so we're all on the same page. As you probably know, Drunk Elephant went viral on TikTok a couple of years ago, but truly viral, not the viral we see today. They went viral, mostly with tweens and young teenagers who were kind of drawn in by the brand's colorful packaging, unusual product names, and the way they promoted their skincare smoothies, which the less said about those fucking smoothies, the better. They were the bane of my existence for so long, and any Sephora worker had to deal with them. Despite the various controversies around this, including the mess the kids were making in stores like Sephora and the dangers of children using products with very powerful high percentage actives in them, many felt like the brand had sold out and gone all in on trying to capture the new young audience. And I agree, they did. They actually said that their products were for kids. I believe in the end they did give a warning about how the kids shouldn't be using retinol, but it's kind of too late. Again, if you want to hear in more depth, watch the videos here. As a result of the brand seemingly going after tweens, they managed to alienate their original customers who didn't feel like Drunk Elephant was really for them anymore. And their original clientele, I believe, was a little bit older. I would say mid-20s upwards. You know, people were starting to see signs of maturing skin, but instead it became seen as a brand for kids to muck about with. And older skincare consumers stopped talking about the brand seriously, because who can take a brand seriously who are targeting tweens now? Well, more so just rolling with the punches. Now though, Drunk Elephant seems to have done another 180 and are trying to claw back their original customer base that they kind of just ghosted. So let's get into what they're trying to do to repair their image and why they think this could be a new era for the brand. Drunk Elephant has recently launched a brand new marketing campaign in a desperate attempt to reconnect with the older consumers that they pushed away. To be honest with you, I can't blame you if you hadn't heard about this, because to be honest, who's really paying that much attention to Drunk Elephant nowadays? Those with disposable income anyway. And honestly, if I don't follow these business beauty news websites, I wouldn't have a clue this was happening. So it started with the brand completely wiping their Instagram page in the lead up to the new campaign launching, which I always think is a fucking stupid idea anyway for any brand to do. Literally every single post was deleted, and they started again with the following post on January the 5th of 2026. I guess they're implying like is a hookup or something, you know, something more adult, something more mature, something, I don't know, kind of crap. Not exactly what I was expecting, but it's a start, I guess, right? And they followed that up with a few more posts that definitely felt a bit more grown up than their previous marketing had been. This one with the caption, "The real fun starts when the lights go out." Another one says, we've been told we can be a bit of a tease." And in one, I think they're implying that the woman didn't get any sleep because she has kids now. This is a little bit irrelevant, but it annoys me because the reel says, "At least I didn't fall asleep with my makeup on," when I believe the actress very clearly is wearing makeup. Just, you know, no makeup. I mean, it's an ad, right? It's a photo shoot. You have to be wearing a little bit of something because of lighting and stuff, but like, just don't put that line in. Anyway, these posts clearly have a noticeably different feel to what they've been doing before. I mean, it's kind of like a little bit like, how do we immediately become adult? Oh, makes like sexual connotations kind of thing. It's a bit like, For years, Drunk Elephant had been more than happy to pander to a younger audience, leaning into the bright colors and toy-like feel their products, worrying more about the fun aspects of their products rather than the science behind it, and focusing heavily on working with influencers that had such a young audience, particularly on TikTok, which was known at the time for having a very young user base. But some of these posts are a little bit risque, the newer ones, or they're using a model who's a little bit older than their previous demographic, or they're talking about being tired because you have children. It's definitely not the kind of thing that's meant to appeal to kids. These were just the start though, and after a handful of posts like this, they finally made it clear that they're going for a complete reset of the brand's public image with the launch of their new marketing campaign with the tagline, "Please enjoy responsibly." In that post, they say, "The next era of Drunk Elephant is here, refined, elevated, and strictly intentional." And the rest of their posts since then have been very similar to the ones I've just shown you so far. They're using older models for their ads than what they were before. The color palette feels a little bit more muted. There's still that color in there, but not in the way that it used to be. And most of the messaging seems to be focused on the science behind the formulation and the specific ingredients they're using. Standard for a brand who preaches a lot of actives and that kind of stuff, you know? Though I think it's worth noting actually that they didn't commit as fully on other social media platforms as they did on Instagram. Like I said, completely wiped their Instagram posts and started again. But on TikTok and Facebook, they left all their old posts up and just started posting this new campaign. I guess they see kind of Instagram as the main place to find the audience thereafter. There is a slightly older demographic over on Instagram, but it does seem a little bit odd to not have a fresh start on all their social media channels. I feel like maybe a part of them is still trying to cling on desperately to that younger TikTok demographic just in case, you know? Now, outside of their own marketing materials, they also seem to be partnering with older influencers as well, ones that you wouldn't expect to have a predominantly younger audience. And rather than the high energy whole style content that was so popular for the brand, or the get readies with me to go to school that a lot of the kids were doing, the creators they're working with now seem to be a bit calmer in their delivery and are more focused on education style content. There's noticeably less squealing over pretty packaging and mixing up products and more about actual skincare. I mean, honestly, I like this part of the rebrand, watching the TikToks and Instagram posts I'm about to show you. Like, these posts alone, rather than their new campaign, kind of give me a better idea of what they're going for. Like, these are the people that should have been using Drunk Elephant in the first place, who they always should have targeted. So it seems pretty obvious that Drunk Elephant are definitely trying to distance themselves from the children that they spent the last few years so focused on, and are trying to rebrand themselves in a way that appeals to an older demographic. Specifically, the same demographic that they had before they turned themselves into a kids brand. The question is though, why this sudden change in branding? For years now, Drunk Elephant has seemed set on pursuing the younger consumers, even if it was pushing away their original customer base. So why all of a sudden have they switched tactics again? And now are saying, no kids allowed, essentially? Well, it's very simple. The Drunk Elephant fad has passed, as we all knew it would. Kids don't care about the brand anymore, as we knew they wouldn't, at least not anywhere near the extent that they briefly did. This is what always happens with trends, and it's crazy that people at Drunk Elephant did not see this coming. Or they did, and they just decided to do nothing about it. We know what viral means on TikTok nowadays. It means you're viral for a year, 6 months, and then that's it. You know, this isn't just on TikTok, but anytime kids get obsessed with some big trend, it's not long before they move on to something else. Why Drunk Elephant thought that it wouldn't be the same for them, I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe they realized that they were losing relevance with older consumers who actually have the money after all their controversies as well as the fact that clean beauty has become less and less of a selling point over the years, maybe, hopefully. And for a long time, that was basically the brand's only selling point. So maybe they were desperate to find a new audience, seeing as theirs was already dwindling. Who knows? Who knows? But whatever the reasoning behind it, Drunk Elephant had no issue with abandoning their older customers in favor of focusing all their attention and marketing on trying to capitalize on their TikTok fame. The only reason they're now trying to act like a serious, science-backed brand, or gone back to that, is because the tweens have moved on and the TikTok money dried up as a result. That's it. They have no money. Their new tagline for this campaign is "Please enjoy responsibly," a message that probably would have been more useful when the Sephora Kids craze was at its peak, but the brand wasn't worried about responsibility back then, just profits. So this sentiment is coming way too fucking late. They weren't concerned about being taken seriously as an allegedly scientific skincare brand when the money was pouring in from children who liked the bright colors and the stupid smoothie making rubbish that Drunk Elephant loves so fucking much. But I really honestly do feel like now that a lot of their original consumers and the older demographic have been put off by the brand's childish image. Like, it was fun. I'll admit, I never liked the brand, but their imaging was fun to begin with. And then once you see the kids latching onto it, it's like, oh yeah, it's a little bit immature actually. And these smoothies are a bit like, what the fuck? And it's all a bit like, ugh. So the brand has seen their sales plummet in the last year. In fact, executives at Shiseido, who are Drunk Elephant's parent company, even publicly stated that they weren't optimistic about the brand's future, adding that Drunk Elephant was suffering from an identity crisis. Imagine the people who bought you saying that. That's bad. Things got so bad that hundreds of Drunk Elephant employees were laid off last year because they weren't making enough money anymore. And the brand's terrible sales have been having a major effect on Shiseido's overall revenue as well, essentially dragging Shiseido, this beauty giant, right down with them. Drunk Elephant are in a free fall. That's the only reason they want you back as a customer. I mean, that's business at the end of the day, but please remember that they don't care about you. They didn't care about you a couple of years ago, and they don't care about you now. They didn't care about the dangers of encouraging children to use their products. They didn't care about the promoting of overconsumption with these kids and these tweens, the ridiculous haul videos that were all over the internet. They didn't care about the misinformation they're spreading about mixing skincare ingredients together. They didn't care about fear-mongering over the suspicious 6 ingredients that the founder incorrectly thinks are the source of all skin conditions. They just don't care about anything else other than their opinion and how to make money. Like I said, that's business, but I feel like you've got to merge that with actually understanding what your clients want, what your customers want. Move forward with the skincare world and technology. Suspicious 6 is very Pinterest 2001 or whenever Pinterest was made. Like, move the fuck on. Drunk Elephant is not a brand with morals, in my opinion. They don't care about you, in my opinion. No matter what their new campaign says, they do not care about you enjoying their products responsibly. They only care about being taken seriously as a skincare brand now that the money from being the fun brand with the silly product names has dried up. They are only willing to say that children shouldn't have been using their products now that there isn't any money to be made from it, despite saying kids can use their products. Now, could this rebrand work? Like, even if Drunk Elephant's latest rebrand is disingenuous, could it actually work for them? This is all my opinion now. I personally doubt it. I mean, they didn't even bother, like, changing the packaging. I think that could be a big mistake, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel like a rebrand. It just feels like they got a new graphic designer. Online shopping might be a different story, but in actual retail stores, Drunk Elephant has become so well known as that kiddie brand. I think people have been avoiding it in Sephora for so long that they just don't want to be around it anymore. There's no point. People have moved on. They've forgotten about it. It's hard to get that association out of people's heads. A marketing campaign isn't enough. When people go into stores and see Drunk Elephant on the shelves, they're going to think of the Sephora Kids. That's all they're going to think about. It's too little too late, because that's what it's been for the last few years, and it's still the exact same brand. I really thought the rebrand would be a lot more drastic than this, let's be honest. This is kind of shit. I mean, it's Shiseido. They have money. Drunk Elephant doesn't. Maybe that's why this campaign looks so bad. I mean, like I said, if I hadn't read about this in beauty news, I wouldn't have known they had a rebrand. Prior to this campaign, Shiseido had been saying that their rebrand of Drunk Elephant was going to be disruptive and irreverent. Disruption? Like, where the fuck is This is one of the most tamest, most boring rebrands and campaigns I've ever seen. Like I said, the influencer content from this is more interesting than their disruptive and irreverent rebrand. Like, they put some risque puns in there and think that that's gonna do the job. Like, is that it? This is one of the tamest, most middle-of-the-road campaigns I've ever seen in years. There is nothing disruptive happening here. They haven't launched any new innovative products to coincide with the rebrand. They haven't changed a single thing about the packaging. That's expensive. But they haven't got like any big partnerships either. There's no big celebrity or influencer face. They haven't done much of anything other than start promoting their products in a more mature way. It's not exactly groundbreaking, is it? They have announced, however, that they'll be releasing some new products in the second half of this year, but in all honesty, it might be too late by then. Like, who cares? Why wouldn't you time the launch of your new campaign with the launch of new products? Well, probably because Drunk Elephant is doing so badly that they can't afford to wait that long. They're doing whatever damage control they can now, even if it's way too little, far too late. They should have been putting this out at the height of the Sephora Kids drama, and these new products are going to have to be something so special, so interesting if they're going to turn things around for a brand that hasn't been seen as innovative by skincare consumers since they pioneered the clean clinical philosophy more than like a decade ago. And even that was mostly just marketing buzzwords rather than any real skincare innovation. They need to come out with something truly exciting for once, because if it's just another okay product that's priced way too high, then I can't see anyone returning to the brand. Watch it be a K-beauty ripoff. Watch it be a PDRN. Watch it be like an NAD or something like that, you know? I mean, that's really the biggest issue for Drunk Elephant now, I think. When their older consumers felt like the brand wasn't really for them anymore, they didn't just sit around and like not using skincare and waiting for Drunk Elephant to remember they existed. Those consumers found new brands that they trusted and new products that work for them. There is also so much choice out there now, so much choice in the skincare world nowadays, and an awful lot of it is better than Drunk Elephant. There are so many brands that offer products that are just as good, if not better, than what Drunk Elephant has to offer, and for much less money as well. Drunk Elephant aren't cheap by any stretch of the imagination. They also aren't particularly innovative. Their products aren't the best on the market in any way. They aren't very trustworthy. It's not a good combination when you put it all together. Just like how the tweens and the teenagers moved on from the brand, Drunk Elephant's older consumers have also moved on. A few puns is unlikely to be enough to bring them back. Who knows? I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe there are millions of skincare enthusiasts out there who can't wait to return to a Drunk Elephant that tries to market themselves in a more mature way. I do doubt it though. The brand still has 2 million followers on Instagram, but I'm pretty sure most of them just haven't bothered unfollowing the brand. And I say that because they don't seem to be getting much engagement on there. Like at all, most of their posts have a few hundred likes. And even their big start of a new era campaign launch only has a little over 1,000 likes as of filming this video. For comparison, brands like Glow Recipe, who also have 2 million followers, regularly getting like 2, 3, 4,000 likes. And the posts that do really well are getting 7,000 to 8,000. Laneige, who have 1.5 million followers, are getting much better engagement, with most of their posts getting at least a few thousand likes, and the popular ones getting tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of likes. Likes obviously aren't everything, but it does show that they have dropped out of people's algorithm because people just weren't engaging with them anymore. It shows that people just don't seem to be that interested. The comments that are there are very, very positive, but this new marketing campaign is drawing such little attention. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Let me know how you feel about Drunk Elephant's new era. If you're someone who stopped using Drunk Elephant in the last few years, do you think they've done enough to turn things around for you? Are you excited for the new products coming out later this year? Or are you happy with the brands you've moved on to? Let me know.